YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Knowledge here, and I am joined here by.
It's your boy Miss. We're here with the top 10 games of 2022.
Our top 10 favorite games, because this is all subjective anyway.
Yeah.
That game sucked. This is your top 10 list?
All right, so the way we're going to do this, I'm going to give my 5, Mike's going to give his 5, and then we're going to debate over which one is actually the best, 1 through 10.
I like this format because it's different. Because obviously my 5 are better.
No way. Well, we'll see.
I'm sure we have overlap. I'm sure we do.
Honestly, maybe. I don't know. But I chose some ones that honestly didn't get the love that they deserved in the Game Awards. So I'm going to start off with my number 5. The KAITO. Oh, we're counting expansions, by the way. We're counting expansions. So because if World of Warcraft, I played Dragon, whatever it was called, that doesn't count for World of Warcraft that came out 10 years ago. So starting with expansions, I'm going to go number 5. Lost Judgment, KAITO Files DLC.
Oh my god. I already knew
that. It deserves the love. It deserves the love, honestly. And do I think this is going to be number 5 on our overall list? Probably not. But I think it deserves some love because I really did enjoy it. It was a good chance to play as KAITO. Through Judgment, all we get to play is Yagami. We don't get to play as anybody else, unlike the other Yakuza series, which had us balance between 4 different protagonists. This time, we get to play as KAITO the whole way through. We get a little bit of Yagami through a phone call, but besides that, it's just KAITO being a beast, which is really useful because I wanted to know, how does he match up on his own when it comes to fighting in like the Yakuza tier list scale? And spoilers, he ranks pretty high. He's doing some stuff that the normal thug wouldn't be able to do, like survive getting thrown off a 3rd-story building into a car.
Yes.
I'm just saying, he deserves it. He deserves it. Was it super spectacular? No, I mean, it's just DLC, the same areas, but, more story, more character progression, and different content.
I mean, the thing is, you love the series too.
Facts.
Like, you love Yakuza and what was it, Judgment and then Lost Judgment? Mm-hmm. They're super low key, to be honest, because they're big in Japan, but they're not that big.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know how big they are in Japan.
In Japan,
I know Yakuza
is huge, right? And the American fan base wanted it, and we got it. But when it came to Judgment, it was something fresh. A lot of people like it, and I do too. It's different. Instead of being a criminal, you're a detective. You solve the cases and stuff like that. So I think number 5, KAITO series, is a good placement for me. What's your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is SIFU. I think SIFU is original, different. Obviously, roguelikes are becoming a bigger and bigger thing ever since Hades. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a hybrid roguelike because it's not like randomly generated levels. You keep replaying the same level, so it's not a roguelike in the most traditional sense. Mm-hmm. But in the sense that you just got to keep getting better. And the whole aging mechanic is original, and it really kept gameplay fresh, and it also made you make these choices of how you wanted to approach things depending on where you were. I thought the combat was amazing. Like, I've never been a big fan of super hard games. I'm more of just kind of laid back and enjoy the story. But as I'm getting to play more and more of them, I'm really started to fall in love with them. And this one in particular was just fun. It's it felt like an old school game in the best possible way of, here's the setup. Within the first 20 minutes what this game is about. Vengeance. These 4 or 5 people, done. That's the story. There's no complex, all this web story going on, which I like too, but it's it's there's no freaking billion square feet open world that you have to explore. And again, don't get me wrong, I enjoy those type of things too, but it's just one of those, it's always, as the industry strays more and more toward open world, it's cool. These type of games are kind of a fresh feel and something different. So it's really, and also the fact that it was kind of a more independent type game and it was still really impactful is impressive, and it made me enjoy it all much more.
Big props for your number 5. Jeez. I can't wait to see what you got next. But for me, it's gonna rub some people the wrong way. but I had so much fun with it. I have to put it on the list. NBA 2K23.
Oh my god!
Look, 2K.
Check out the review on the channel.
Yeah, check out the review. Check out
a great review.
I give it all the praises. Look, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. You guys go check out the review. 2K has messed up badly since 2K, I want to say 17, they started messing up. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 7 years for them to actually create not just a basketball simulator, because that's what they've all been up until this point. It was an actual RPG. You weren't just going to the league. The main story doesn't even really focus on the league past a certain point. You don't even have to finish and get a championship to end the story. You get a rival.
Yeah.
It becomes a open, kind of open world, what would you call it? Like just an open level, I guess.
It's like a hub. It's an open hub.
Several missions. We meet different celebrities, from Dr. Disrespect to J. Cole. We dress up our character, and not just because we want to, but because it actually gives us a bit of status in the RPG element. You meet people, you engage in the dialogue, you choose to be kind of like I'm my own boss, I'm the man, I own this city, or more of a corporate, yeah, my team did a good job, this and that. But it turned the game into just shoot some basketball, and to me actually wanting to enjoy the story, the side parts, playing with the skateboard, dressing up, dancing around. Like, the time I was actually playing basketball, I was like, man, I can't wait to get to the story. And that's crazy, because the gameplay is good. The gameplay was actually good this year. So for me to be like, man, when am I going to get some more story? When am I going to get some more Shep? When am I going to get to hang out with the rest of the team? And then on top of that, they bring in the whole universe, because every NBA 2K had a new character. They all had a different name. This one was named MP. The last game name was MP, and they actually brought that up, and they made it to like a whole crazy timeline universe thing. And I was just, dude, I was smiling ear to ear when it was coming up. From someone that's been playing the game for 7 years, it's crazy to have them tie it together to actually be something. So I'm excited to see what they do next year. But yeah, NBA 2K23, that's my number 4.
I'll say this really quickly. Like, I can't speak too intelligently on it. I've only played it a little bit. From my observations, like, I think that the main thing I would say about the RPG elements is that, it's not like fucking Xenoblade, but I think that it has to be graded on a curve. If it's the first time coming into a game like 2K, and it was done decently well, it feels extra better when it's like a game like that where it's never had an RPG element to it. I mean, I don't know, you could say it is really deep, I don't know, like, I will trust your word on it, but to me, just looking from the outside, it didn't look like it was super deep, but it looked like it was deep enough to keep you engaged. It was in like 2K world,
because it's fresh. It's never been done before. That's why it's like, wow, oh my god, like, they actually put effort into it. The other RPG mechanics were just like whatever, like, oh, be corporate or be rogue, but there was nothing else to it. You could wear whatever you wanted. You could pretend to be a corporate guy, but you walk into the office with your uniform all messed up, and they still love you. Here, it's different.
Okay, I feel it. All right, number 4 for me is a throwback to my childhood. I love this game. I played it for the channel. I was in love. I wanted to play it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge.
Okay.
This is something like, I'm a 90s kid at heart, and back in the day we used to go to Chuck E. Cheese, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's the only reason we wanted to go. 4-player co-op, and then on the Super Nintendo they also had Turtles in Time, which is really similar to the arcade one. This game is just a modern-ish version of that. It's 2 hours, 3 hours long at most, but it's most fun when you're playing with other people, and it's pretty simple. Like, it's a beat 'em up, and this game was fun as hell. It was simple, but also complex enough to keep you engaged, where it's all about your button timing. And like, even though it's easy, like, you could just button mash your way through the game, but if you wanted to get a little more in depth, you can. And that's the main thing that makes these games and a lot of the old school games a lot of fun, which is easy to play, harder to master. That's what always made games like Mario and the old school games great when they were good, is that anybody could just get in and play and have fun. But if you wanted to go deeper, you could. And with all the different characters and their different abilities, their different range and weapons, like, you could do that. Okay. It was fun, old school throwback, just exactly what you know what you're getting when you get into it. And that game was fucking amazing.
Right. Solidifying it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay. I didn't play it, but okay, I feel the passion. This is a part where it's going to be interesting on our list. Because number 3, I put SIFU.
I knew you loved it. I knew you loved it.
I did. Yeah. So besides everything you said, obviously you want to go for revenge, but a cool thing I didn't do in the game movie, because the game is difficult and I was trying to get out the game movie as fast as possible. You can actually spare the bosses, but it's not just, spare the boss, you get the good ending. If you choose to spare the boss, you have to fight them one more time. One more round to actually prove you can beat them and not just get lucky. So if you want the true ending, you have to spare all of the bosses, not just 1 or 2, all of them. Something I wasn't able to do. I saw a guy speedrun the game. I was like, man, this guy, he knows his stuff. Like, parries on deck, dodges, like, easy. Like, I was like, I don't think this guy's gonna even get hit, but when he did get hit, I was like, whoa, what? Yeah. So he still beat the game without any deaths, which was great.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, Mike already said everything about SIFU, so I'm gonna move on. SIFU, number 3 for me.
I wish I could remember this guy's name real quick, but there was a guy who within a week had like a no-hit run. I was like, what? Like, are you what? There's no way, man. Because people are just insane. Yeah. All right. Number 3 for me is probably number 100 for you. But I thoroughly enjoyed this game. A grind fest that it was. Need for Speed. Number 3 for me.
How the hell is this number 3? I gotta hear this shit. I gotta hear this.
Look. At this core, Need for Speed Unbound is just an arcade racer at its best. The mechanics are incredible. They're fun. I loved racing. Everything about it was kind of like, to me, like a Mario Kart for adults in a way, because your drifting would give you a boost. You're drafting behind players, like hitting people would give you extra boost. It was all about like being in the race like that and just boom. And there's no real rubber band. If you're in first,
if you're winning, you're winning.
Yeah, like if you're in first, they are not catching you. And it was one of those things where you had to make a decision when racing, which was fun, which is like, if you kind of had a lower end car, you had to make the race rough from the get-go. Like, you had to catch the boost and knock the first player out of. You just needed to throw them off from the get-go so that you can be in this race. Yeah. If you had an overpowered car, you just needed a jet and try to run the perfect like time trial type race. It was fun. Story was trash. Like, it was terrible. It's like the absolute garbage. Like, it was horrible, but I did not care. I had fun playing this game. It's an unbelievable grind fest, but at the end of the day, what's the core mechanic? Do you enjoy it? I enjoyed racing, and that's it. Like, I haven't enjoyed racing that much in a long time, and that's just what it comes down to. And I could, and the car customization was really good too. Like, I give them props on that. It was good. And for me personally, the animation style, I liked it. I know a lot of people disliked it, and which I understand, and hopefully they'll update it in the future where you can, because you can take off almost everything except I think the smoke, I forgot which one. You can't take off one of the animations, and people were bugged by that. But outside of that, it's like if you could take off all the animations, it'd be good for everybody, because some people really want the more realistic look to the cars. Yeah. Other people like that style. But I enjoyed the style a lot. Playing it on PC, buttery smooth, like 120 frames per second. on the 3090. Like it was just, it felt great, looked great.
Rub it in.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that for me sucked, just because we're playing it for the channel, is that I couldn't play with the soundtrack on. I played with it like off by myself when I was just kind of grinding up and not recording. Like I could just play my own music or whatever, which was fun. But that's the only thing that was missing for me. And I know if I would have had the soundtrack, man, it would have been even more fun, because these, yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I just think the mechanics are so good. So that's my number 3 game.
All right, I don't think I would have been number 3, but yeah, Need for Speed, baby, let's go. All right, time for the real games to come in. Our top 2, and I'm gonna go with Modern Warfare 2.
Let's go.
So yeah, the reason why it's number 2 and not number 1, because multiplayer was an absolute disgrace when it came out on launch. The game was absolutely broken. Spec Ops was trash. Nowhere lived up to my expectations. DMZ was great. And story mode is the only thing really carrying this game to number 2. And you can only carry it for so far. I mean, story mode was great, right? I played it 3 times for a reason. It was really fun. Yeah. It was enjoyable. Of course, there's plot holes. Of course, a lot of stuff doesn't make sense. But the things that did make sense, whether it was the tactics, the level design, sound design, all that stuff was great. And I really enjoyed it. As a veteran, I enjoyed almost everything about the story. There's literally only 2 missions throughout that story where I was like, man, this is terrible, which was 1, the sniping mission. I need to get this down so everyone can hear this. All Gillied Up was amazing and fun. There is no reason why we should do All Gillied Up every Modern Warfare game. We did it in Modern Warfare 1. We did a similar version, Modern Warfare 2 with the snow version. We did it again in the remaster. We did it in Modern Warfare 1 remake when you were hiding in the corpses. And we did it again in Modern Warfare 2 where you're hiding in the bushes. Except this time, there is one AI that actually goes to where you are if you're just standing still. And if you don't move, you will get spotted, which did surprise me. And then I was like, why is this guy moving? I kept moving and he kept coming at me. I was like, what is this shit? But then that lasted for like, that whole mission lasted for like, what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? That was crazy.
That mission took forever. Yes, like it
was
took forever.
Long as hell. Yeah, everybody's just like, yeah, man, this is a great mission. Captain Price is like 2 notches, you shoot him, wow, so cool. Like, no, that shit was so fucking long. But besides that, Modern Warfare 2 was absolutely great. Really did enjoy it.
I'm surprised because I love Call of Duty. It's a guilty pleasure. I wouldn't put it on my top 5. I don't know. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's good. It's fun to play with the boys. It's always fun, but it's like nothing that really excites me.
What about the story mode?
I did enjoy the story mode, but it's a 4 or 5 hour story mode, and it was good. The multiplayer, like the ranking of guns, is so dumb. Like, oh my god, it's
long.
Oh, you want to unlock this gun? Oh well, guess what? You got to unlock this gun, and this gun first to unlock this gun. It's like, what is that?
You don't know the name of the guns because for some reason, with these billions of dollars, they decided not to spend any of it on gun licensing rights.
Yeah.
Why, I don't understand. I mean, you can obviously tell they're used to just doing shit and not telling anybody. I mean, the museum map got taken out the game as soon as the real museum found out about this shit. And they were like, yo, no, take that out. We're going to sue you. And they were like, oh, man, I guess we shouldn't have put all those hours into this museum map. I guess we shouldn't have bought those tickets to actually look at it and draw it. And fuck. Just buy the damn gun names. What the hell is a cast-off 47? Just call it the AK. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah, right, and they make billions of dollars. There's no reason for it. But you know what? I enjoy playing it, so I'm not gonna hate because it's like I don't give a shit. Like we all talk shit, but at the end of the day, like it's the highest selling game for a reason. It's just fun to play with friends.
Yeah.
All right, now before I get to my last 2, I do want to say, just to reiterate, this is our favorite games of the year. There'd probably be glaring games missing because I didn't personally play them, so I can't put them on here.
We already know what games you're thinking about.
Yeah,
that should have won Game of the Year is probably not on this list.
Yeah,
I didn't play it.
Okay, that's for you. For me, it's the other one. So my number 2 game of the year is God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
I think this one more can be said. This game is almost perfect. The story was incredible. Everything is like an improvement over the first one. The only thing I think that people can bash on it, like in good faith, is that it was made for the PS4, and you can feel that while you're playing it. It's not
Really?
It's not it's like it's originally built on the PS4 and then upgraded to the PS5. So it's not a next gen type game in the sense of like it's not from the ground up on the next gen. But that's not to bash it really, because it's still like 2018 was an amazing game, and this one's an equally if not better game. The story had me entranced. It's like you get so much out of it. Like if you get a 35-hour main story, you could play it for another 30 hours if you wanted to, and it gives you good reason to, because there's a lot of good story to it. The combat is fun, it's engaging. It's one of those perfect balances where it's easy enough and also but can give you difficulty, especially if you ramp up the difficulty. So I just, there's really not much to say other than like this is one of the best games like of the last 10 years.
So I'm it's hearing just how good it is, but why is it number 2 and not number 1?
Well, I'll tell you what my number 1 is. It's more because I enjoyed the shit out of number 1. Oh, okay. Like from a personal level. Like if I'm being objective, God of War is number 1. Okay. Like just like, you know, standing up from the top and being like, okay, this is the best game of the year. In my opinion, God of War is the best game of the year. My number 1 is my favorite game of the year. Okay. So that's the difference.
Okay, all right. Number 1 on my list, the game of the year, Elden Ring. Elden Ring. So personally, like Mike was saying, I enjoyed Modern Warfare 2 more. But I cannot say that Elden Ring is not a worse game than Call of Duty, or Call of Duty is a better game than Elden Ring, because Elden Ring actually worked when it came out. Had a decent story. It wasn't crazy amazing, but if you do watch the YouTube videos, you will think it's crazy and amazing. But that goes down to storytelling, and they didn't really tell the story. They did leave a lot for you to figure it out on your own, which is good for the people that do want to adventure and stuff like that. Now, I've beaten the game, 6 times? I'm on New Game Plus 7. I don't plan on playing it again until the DLC drops, but that's what I'm really excited for, the DLC. I'm gonna be in it. Anyways, but yeah, customization, dope. Different weapons, dope. The first time that we've actually gotten this super huge world that we actually have to be on horseback, dope. Bosses, the bosses is the only thing that really irritates me. The main bosses, cool, but constantly repeating the same bosses in a slightly different form, I really personally didn't enjoy. But the world was just so enormous and actually enjoyable because there was side stuff almost everywhere you go. You go down a hole, you enter a room, you're thinking, oh, I'll just go and open up a chest. You open up the door, you end up in a whole dungeon. You're like, well, I'm already here now. I might as well get it done. Then you end up dying and losing everything, and you're like, damn, maybe I should have went back. And it just makes you think. It's really enjoyable. The new PvP zone, the arenas are a great place for PvP. Instead of just meeting somebody in the field and summoning, you actually go in, prepare yourself, and you go fight. Like this PvP is now like solidified. You go here to PvP. You don't really need to invade the PvP anymore, which is great. Give the PvP players somewhere to play, and that's where they'll be. So Elden Ring overall, really great. It's my number 1 because it is a really great game. I, was like, oh, God of War should have won, but I didn't even play God of War, so what the fuck am I talking about, right? I did play Elden Ring, and it won Game of the Year, and I can't be like, oh, no, it shouldn't have, because it deserves it. It really is a good game. Maybe I just don't like the weebs, but moving on.
I think with those type of games, sometimes they do turn people off, or like the hardcore fans are so like
they're so
intense. It makes you want to be like, oh fuck that. Like I remember you actually had you didn't love it at first. It took you a while to warm up to it because you're a big Souls. You played all the Souls games, so it's not like you're new to those type of games. But I know once you did get into it, then you got really into it. You got drawn in.
It's the whole power struggle. Like as soon as I get powerful, that's when I enjoy the Souls series. It's not the whole You know, some people enjoy beating the game literally naked with fist only. That's not me.
Yeah.
Props to you if you can do it. That's not me. I just like having fun being the boss. If I'm the boss, I'm having fun.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, well, that's good. The game is designed to cater to both type of players.
Mm-hmm.
All right, for me, my favorite game of the year, which I will not be almost on anybody's list, but this is my favorite game of the year, Sonic Frontiers. Oh man, I had so much fun playing this game. I can't give it enough praise. I did play it on next gen, so it felt great. It didn't, it didn't really slow down or anything like that. It felt like, to me, the first real 3D Sonic game. Like Sonic Adventures.
Ooh, okay.
Like, I really enjoyed Sonic Adventures. It's one of my favorite games, like from the Dreamcast. But it's like, if really looking at it, that was it was like the first 3D Sonic game. But it was like an open world hub. And then like the levels were just kind of like old school Sonic levels in 3D versions, which was fun. So I didn't mean to say it's the first 3D Sonic game. It's like the first true open world. Yeah, it's the first true open world Sonic game, because it really is. You get thrown. There's like 5 different maps, but they're really big. And a lot of people complain that it was kind of like, oh, they just threw the obstacles in there like a Sonic level, but it doesn't really match with the world, which is true, but I don't care. Like, the whole thing is like, it's so much fun to traverse through the world and figure things out, and especially it is in RPG, as you keep leveling yourself up and getting more like you can get faster, more powerful. Like, once you get all the way to the max speed, it's insane how fast you move. And the old school levels that they had were pretty easy, I would say. So that'd probably be one of my biggest criticisms, is like, I wish they were a little bit harder. I was able to get S tier on them like pretty quickly, and I'm not a great Sonic player. But to me, it felt like playing Sonic for the first time. I was, and again, a 90s kid, so I played Sonic on the Sega Genesis when I was like 7. And I remember that feeling of speed, and it was just nothing like anything I've ever played before. And with Sonic Frontiers, I had that feeling in that open world. Yeah, it was just objectively, I would say the game is maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. But as far as the personal fun that I had, it was like a 9.5. Like, that's how much fun I had playing it. And it took me like 30 hours to beat, and I enjoyed all 30 hours. I loved grinding it. It was just incredible. The sense of speed is unmatched in an open world game.
Damn, that's some big praise right there.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're gonna go in and list our top 10 games of 2022. All right, so number 10, it wasn't on the list because we both ended up having SIFU, but there's no way we can't say that Stray at least deserves to be on the top 10.
Yeah, Stray, I mean, so since we had to pick another one and fill the list, we agreed Stray. We played it on stream and really enjoyed it. It's an original game that like you play as the cat the entire game, which is a very different concept. I think the exploration was good. The game ultimately I felt was a little more shallow than I thought it would be, which is what holds it back. The world itself wasn't entirely interesting, but what made it original and unique and fun ultimately was that you get to play as a cat and solve puzzles, and it really made you think that way. That's what I really enjoyed about it. I hope that they make more games like that and really build upon it, because I think there's a lot of potential there. And it's another kind of indie, not like purely indie, but indie enough that I really respected what they did.
So I personally think Stray's world building was really enjoyable. I did like the weird creatures, and when we go into the sewer, we see the giant eyeballs everywhere. It's like, yo, what is this stuff? Like, why is it mutating like this? And how have these robots survived so long? And they end up picking up the mannerisms of humans. So even though they can't eat, they're having like a wire ramen. And it's like they eat it, it goes to their stomach, they pull it out, and then the chef cooks it again. So it's like, it's really interesting and pretty cool. Terrifying concept for real life, 100%. Because supposedly it's because, humans being humans and waste and stuff like that. So
like always.
so it makes me a little nervous, but I think it was pretty cool. So I think Stray does deserve number 10. So number 9, Kaito Files.
Yeah, we definitely chill. I think we decided that should go there just because it was your number 5. I didn't have it on my list, but since it is an expansion, I think we would put it like, I guess lower. You would say lower or get high. I don't know how you would say.
I would say,
but number 9.
I mean, like, regardless of how fun it was, it isn't its own game, right? It's just an expansion. Like, to say an expansion overall is better than like the games on a top 10 best games of 2022. It is kind of crazy, right? And this ain't no World of Warcraft, you feel me? So we're gonna go ahead and put Kaito Files number 9.
And then at number 8, we'll put Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the throwback legend that it is. Not too complex of a game, but just quick, easy fun, especially if you play with friends. So that's the number 8 favorite game of the year.
So I was backing for it. NBA 2K. I mean, I already said everything I had to say. It's fun. Try it out. Try it out and then let me know. If it's on sale, $40, pick it up. Try it out and let me know. So number 6, Need for Speed. Now, I enjoyed the game. I actually thought the story was, it's a basic revenge story, but I wanted to see how it ended. Would it end in a redemption or full-on revenge? Will somebody die? I have no idea because the game was so grindy. I gave it up and gave it to Mike. So even though I had fun with it, even though I did enjoy the cars, the racing, the story, the graphics, the customization, the music, I just couldn't do it. Too grindy, but still a good game.
To be fair, just for people who watch our channel, obviously they know, like, and I mentioned this to everybody when we put the videos out. We started the game when the early access came out, and then Mystery got a corrupted save file, which, like, anybody who's ever done content creation for a living, there's almost nothing more soul crushing than having to redo something you already did. And it was like, you redid it twice, actually, too. You redid it twice, so it was like you had to redo 8 hours.
First one, and it was just like, and then the second one was copyright. I had the music down low and the engine was revving and stuff like that, so I'm like, oh, there's no way it'll pick it up. I guess YouTube got better at their job. Their
bots are in overtime. So I mean, to be fair, it's like I knew it was like, it's almost like anybody would have just been like, fuck this, like, fuck this game, So whatever, your loss is my gain. I got to play a fun game. I had no pressure playing it because I was just like, whatever, we're late now anyway. So who cares, But just have fun.
So SIFU, I honestly, at some point during our conversation about where we were going to place these games, I'm over here thinking, damn, is SIFU going to make like top 3?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it was like, okay, SIFU's better than NBA, SIFU's better than Need for Speed, SIFU better than Modern Warfare. I don't know. So, even though Mike had SIFU at number 5 and I had it on number 3, it still ended up being top 5.
Well, I mean, and this is why we do have to title this and focus it as our favorite games, because, and I did this with the review of Sonic, which is I gave it an objective score and I gave it a personal score. And I really do think with SIFU is a good example for me, where it's like, personally, it's not my type of game, so I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as other people, although I really did. But I think objectively, like, it's better than some of these other games. Like, I don't even think it's like a question. I just think it's like, if I were to tell somebody this is a better made game, better design game, better played game, everything, but personally, I think 5 landed at the right spot between me and you. But objectively, I would say it's better than Modern Warfare 2. Personally, I think objectively, like, outside looking in, what it offers, how different it is, it's a better game.
Yeah. And then moving on to Modern Warfare 2, where I'll sit and defend it. Personal experience, messing with guns, military, story, chain of command, mission structure, orders given, realism. That's why I had to back Modern Warfare 2. Not because the multiplayer and the playing with friends. None of that shit really mattered since it was broken. So I can't really sit here and defend multiplayer. It wasn't crazy.
I didn't even think it was that broken though. I don't even know where that's coming from. I don't remember it being that broken to begin with. Either way, what you said earlier actually to me was the best thing, which is like, which game did we both play in the last couple days? And the answer is Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can talk all the shit you want, but it's like, I've been on it. I played the multiplayer and I also played Warzone. So what can I say, you know?
Yeah. All right. And then top 3. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic. Since it was my number 1,
yeah,
but it's not on your list, nor did you. Yeah.
But what
nor
made
did you play it.
Made me agree that it should be on there was the passion in Mike's delivery, and a little bit of bias due to me watching the Sonic show on Netflix, which is really good, honestly. Like, bro, season 1, I, at the end, I was like, bro, what is this? You can't just leave me on a cliffhanger like this. So it's really good. Definitely check it out. But when it comes down to the game, Mike already sung its praises. Sung it so hard. I mean, he made it number 1. So number 3, I think, is definitely.
To be fair, too, you wanted to play this game too.
I did want to play the game. I did, because I hadn't played a Sonic game in a long time. Like, I played Sonic Forces, but it felt like whatever. I really wanted to play World Sonic Frontiers. I really did, but they got it and they played it, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna fucking. It's a business, guys. It's a business, so there's no point in me spending money for the game. It's just not even worth it.
Yeah, it's true.
Number 2, do you want to say it?
Number 2 has to be God of War. It wasn't on your list because you didn't play it.
Yeah.
To me, it is the best game, like, because I'm not huge on Souls games, so I would have put it at number 1. But again, I'm looking at, I know how much you enjoyed Elden Ring, and you had it at number 1, and I had God of War at number 2, so that made most sense to me. We order it that way. And then, like, I respect the shit out of Elden Ring. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I understand the impact. I think it's really gonna bring Souls games into, like, really the public eye finally. Yeah, I think it did. That's what it did. Like, everybody was playing it. Yeah, that's exactly what it did. But God of War, I think that it cannot be any lower than 2. Whether best, favorite, objective, personal, it doesn't matter. This game was insane. It's just so well polished, so well done, so enjoyable. The story is so immersive. You get sucked in, especially if you're a fan of the series to begin with. But it's like, I think even if you just like Norse mythology, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun seeing Odin and Thor and all the Norse mythology stuff. So definitely number 2, God of War, Ragnarok.
Yep. And number 1, shout out Bill Clinton, baby. Elden Ring.
Bill Clinton.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring. Number 1. And it's basically number 1 because it's done a lot of things fresh in the Soul series, which I already enjoyed the Soul series, right? I played all the other games. But to play Elden Ring, even though I didn't like it in the beginning because the way I play Souls is a lot different than a lot of people play it, when I got to enjoy what I do enjoy about Souls games, I really just had so much fun with it. There's no way I couldn't, even though all the nerds are like, yeah, Elden Ring, and I'm just like, man, you guys are making it too much for me personally. I have to agree with them. Elden Ring deserves its props this game of the year.
And there you have it. Elden Ring, number 1 favorite game of the year from Gamers Little Playground.
Yep, here's the list. Let us know, guys. What would you move around, or what would you add to the list? What would you take away? It's your boy Mist.
Mike Knowledge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.